is not just a story. This actually happened. A private jet, a powerful woman, and a slap that changed everything. She boarded quietly. No one knew who she was. The flight attendant saw her and assumed she was just another passenger. But what she didn't know, what no one knew, was that this woman owned the entire plane. And when she got slapped mid-flight, her next words stunned everyone. "This is my plane. What followed will shake you." This is the real-time story of what happened minute by minute on that jet at 36,000 feet. It was a clear morning at Van Nuys Private Airport in Los Angeles, the kind of day billionaires fly to New York for breakfast and back by dinner. Everything was routine until Amara James arrived. She wasn't dressed like a billionaire. No flashy jewelry, no entourage. Just jeans, a white blouse, and quiet confidence. She gave her name to the crew at the tarmac. "Amara James, I'm taking my jet to JFK." The captain greeted her with respect. The flight plan had her listed as the owner, but the rest of the crew didn't recognize her. The flight attendant on duty that day, Samantha, looked her up and down and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you with one of the passengers? This flight is private." Amara smiled calmly. "No, I'm flying today." Samantha hesitated, clearly confused. She nodded stiffly, then turned to greet the other guests. Two hedge fund execs who were regulars on Amara's leased flights. They shook hands, made jokes, and took their seats. But Amara, she walked quietly to the back row, not because she had to, because she wanted to observe. 15 minutes into the flight, Samantha began offering drinks. To the hedge fund execs, champagne. To Amara, "Would you like water or juice?" Amara politely asked, "Is there any Prosecco available?" Samantha paused. "That's reserved for our premium guests." Amara raised an eyebrow but said nothing. She smiled. Strike one. Assumptions. Samantha brought her water. The glass wasn't even chilled. The two execs laughed and chatted, oblivious. Amara pulled out her iPad. Not for movies, for board notes. She was preparing to fire someone from her aviation company, and Samantha had no idea that it might be her. Rough turbulence shook the plane. Samantha, walking down the aisle, stumbled slightly as Amara reached out to help. It wasn't aggressive, just instinctive. But Samantha turned sharply and yelled, "Don't touch me!" Amara was stunned. "I was just trying to help." Then it happened. A slap, open hand, across Amara's cheek. The cabin went silent. One of the execs looked up from his phone. "What the hell was that?" Samantha's voice cracked. "She grabbed me." Amara didn't react. No anger, just shock. The quiet kind. She stood up, adjusted her sleeve, looked Samantha directly in the eyes and said, "This is my plane." Everyone froze. The exec's mouths dropped. "Wait, what do you mean your plane?" Amara didn't raise her voice. She simply walked to the cockpit, tapped the door, and the captain stepped out. She pointed to Samantha. "I want her off this flight, immediately." The captain nodded. "Yes, Miss James." Samantha turned pale. "Wait, what? You're her?" "Yes," Amara said. "You just assaulted the CEO of Skylux Aviation and the owner of this $47 million jet." Samantha began to stutter. I didn't know. You looked, I thought, exactly, she thought. What Samantha didn't know is that Amara had grown up with nothing. A foster home in Chicago, a scholarship to Stanford, a startup at 22, a tech exit at 29. Now 34, she owned 6 jets, 2 helicopters, and 12 businesses, including the aviation company flying her today. But none of that mattered when she walked on board. She looked too normal, too black. Samantha had seen hundreds of wealthy passengers, but never like Amara, so she assumed. Amara called for an emergency landing. The jet diverted to Kansas City. The FBI met them on the tarmac. Samantha was escorted off the plane. still in shock. I didn't mean to hit her. Didn't matter. The execs apologized profusely. We had no idea who you were. Amara looked them in the eye. You shouldn't have to know who someone is to treat them with respect. That sentence, it went viral later. Because yes, this story went viral. Amara didn't press charges. Instead, she sent Samantha a letter. I forgive you, but I hope you never forget what it cost you to assume. News outlets picked it up within 24 hours. Headlines read, Black billionaire slapped on her own jet. Staff had no idea. Sky Queen, Amara James shocks the world with calm, classy response to assault. People were divided. Some said Samantha should be jailed. Others defended her, saying it was a mistake. But the truth? It wasn't about the slap. It was about the assumption. It was about judging a book by its cover. And Amara's story became a wake-up call across the airline industry. In a world obsessed with appearances, Amara taught us something powerful. Power isn't loud. Respect isn't optional. And silence can be the strongest response of all. She never raised her voice. She never threw a tantrum. She let the truth speak for itself. And when she said, "This is my plane," she reminded us all, don't underestimate the quietest person in the room. They might own it. If this story made you feel something, if it opened your eyes, then share it. Someone out there needs to be reminded that worth isn't worn on sleeves. It's carried in dignity. This was the story of Amara James, a billionaire, a woman, and the owner of the plane. Subscribe for more real, powerful stories that change the way we see the world.